Recently, I was having a conversation with a gentleman by the name of Brad, and he was explaining that his left side of his body was extremely jammed up, and he couldn't understand why. After having a brief conversation with him, what we started to realize is he had broken his right leg, and he had a cast from literally up at his groin area all the way down to his ankle, had all kinds of issues going on with a broken femur into a spiral fracture of tib fib. What's happening in a situation like this is the human body absolutely has a disdain for pain. So while the right side is trying to heal up, what we don't realize is that we're shifting all of our body weight to the opposite side. So if you almost think about the spine as your center point, if the right side of the body is injured, your body's going to naturally move all of the weight and distribute it to the other side. This is what we officially refer to as a compensatory adjustment. You're compensating for the lack of balance, something that we all take for granted. The reason why I wanted to put this video together for you is to discuss the reason why I don't want you to take ibuprofen during the day when you're dealing with an injury. Now, in Brad's case, obviously he's got a full leg cast, but what if maybe you've got an aggravation? I'm just going to use an example. Maybe you've got a problem going on in your calf. Maybe you have a problem going on in your foot. Well, if you jack yourself up with ibuprofen, even though you don't feel the pain, your body is extremely smart and it knows that there's some kind of an issue going on in that part of the body. So your body's naturally going to shift away from it. As the ibuprofen and the acetaminophen, as it starts to wane from your system, you're going to be compensating even more so. So when you're looking at dealing with pain, we always want to let pain be your dictator. So for example, if your right foot or your right calf is jacked up, let's do some research. Let's figure out what's going on. Maybe we need to do some trigger point therapy, some contrast therapy, maybe some scraping, go get a massage. The idea here is please don't mask the pain and create a compensatory adjustment, which now your left side of your body is jacked up. If you've experienced this before, if my right foot or my right calf is jacked up, next thing I know, my left hip, my left shoulder, my lower back on the left side, it starts to get really, really tight. And now we just start a domino effect associated with pain. So when you're dealing with any kind of discomfort, please don't ignore it and certainly don't mask it. Now, I'm going to sound like a hypocrite here. When you go to bed at night, absolutely take some ibuprofen before going to bed because that's where the body gets a chance to rest and relax. And if you have some lingering pain and you keep getting that ouch factor during the night, now we negatively affect sleep, which slows down how quickly you can recover. And now the dominoes are just accelerating even quicker. You're in pain and you're not sleeping well. You're in pain, you're masking the pain during the day, not addressing the problem. It could be a trigger point, it could be tight muscles, it could be a multitude of things. That's where we want to stay away from creating more of a compound problem. Now there's a big assumption here. We're going to assume that you're nailing your hydration, your food, and your sleep quality and quantity is normally there. But when the subject came up about why is my left side of my body jacked up, that's because the body is trying to stay away from the pain. So let's get to the root of the problem. Let's fix that first. Make sure that if necessary, take the ibuprofen so that you sleep better. And let's turn this cycle around so that we get you back to healthy. We have a mantra saying, we want you to be able to move without pain before we add speed and or endurance. So please commit that to memory, make that a commitment for yourself. And let's try to get outside of these compensatory adjustments because unfortunately, once Brad gets his right leg healed up, or in this case, gets it out of a cast, if his left side is jacked up and he gets out of the cast, he's got double duties. If we can keep the body in more of a neutral position and we can keep the tension out of the left side, at least when the cast comes off, all we have to focus on is rehabbing that right leg. Because even though the right leg's in a cast, we're still doing abdominal work, we're doing upper body work, we're still loading the left part of the body up, left leg. So I want you to keep that in mind as well. When you have an injured body part, unless your entire body has been injured, keep working the other moving parts the best you can. Obviously get the permission of your physical therapist and your doctor, but I think you get the gist of what we're talking about. If you happen to be dealing with any kind of a frustration or an issue, please do me a favor. We're putting out a new video every day here on YouTube. Please send it any kind of question, comments, or concerns, things you want clarified. Please send it to me via email, and do so by sending it to contact@coachrobb.com. As I mentioned, we're putting out a video every day, so turn on the notifications and subscribe. And I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow.